Hello, this is Nina Koo, and on this week's The Sensitive Voice, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about self-care. And this is a topic that will come up again and again because it's so fundamental for highly sensitive people. I've also been prompted by a friend who's organising a fundraising event for a charity that she started. And the aim of the charity is to promote research and communication between sufferers and the carers of fibromyalgia, ME and chronic fatigue syndrome. And these are all illnesses that when people get them, they don't really know how to resolve them, and often they go hand in hand, and the specialists don't tend to talk to each other. So the charity is all about increasing communication and research, which I think is an amazing thing. So the relevance of all of this to high sensitivity is because there's a scary fact that highly sensitive people can be 6 times more likely to develop chronic fatigue syndrome than the rest of the population. And this makes perfect sense to me because we have highly responsive nervous systems and we're walking around in a heightened fight or flight state, basically, which means in our modern society our bodies go into fight or flight quite regularly because we're being assaulted by noise and crowds and smells and all sorts of things. And so that activates our fight or flight response, which floods our bodies with cortisol. And if we don't actively do things to reduce our cortisol levels, by activating our parasympathetic nervous systems, which are a relaxation response, and I know I talk a lot about this, that's basically just to bring calm into our bodies, then we will have lots and lots of cortisol in our bodies throughout our lives. And this is very destructive and can lead to stress and illness. And so for me, the link between chronic fatigue syndrome and being highly sensitive doesn't surprise me in the least. But don't worry, because all you need to do is just be very conscious about making sure you get alone time, making sure you look after yourself, making sure you're eating well, making sure you're getting massages regularly, walks in nature, whatever it takes for you to be in a calm and balanced state. And just be aware that you're more likely to be stressed more than others, but it's what can you do to reduce your stress levels. It's putting boundaries in place. It's making sure you don't take on too much than you can cope with at the time. It's not stop doing everything. It's just be mindful of what you can take on and how much and how often, and what you can do to put in place when you become stressed, because you inevitably will become stressed. And so anyway, that's just a few thoughts on self-care and keeping ourselves well throughout our lives. That was Nina Koo on this week's The Sensitive Voice. I'll see you next week.